So at the Game Awards, a trailer for a brand new Star Wars game was dropped, Fate of the Old Republic. It's being developed by a new studio with Casey Hudson at the lead, the director of the original Knights of the Old Republic. Fate seems to be taking a lot of inspiration from the KOTOR formula. For example, it's going to be a single-player RPG where your decisions can either lead you to the light side or dark side of the Force. And I'll be honest, though the trailer doesn't show any gameplay, the visuals look amazing. And most people seem to be in agreement that this was probably the highlight of the whole award show. Though I can't help but notice that one question so far has not been explicitly answered. Which timeline is this game going to take place in? Legends or Disney Canon? You might think that based on all the information, being based on so much of KOTOR, being set in the Old Republic, being worked on by the original KOTOR director, and even having the wreckage of the Leviathan, Malik's flagship from the original game, prominently shown in the trailer, that yeah, this game is most definitely Legends. Content in the Old Republic era, even after the EU's decanonization and discontinuation, has been kept alive by SWTOR, the only piece of the expanded universe that still receives updates to this day. Even the KOTOR remake, which is supposedly still in development, is implied to be part of the Legends timeline, according to Pablo Hidalgo and Matt Martin. But admittedly, they were being cagey little bitches about it. However, the VP of Lucas Games, Douglas Riley, said that Fate of the Old Republic wasn't a sequel or a continuation, but a spiritual successor. That kinda takes the wind out of people's sails who are viewing this as KOTOR 3. Riley also said that Star Wars Past is a vast open canvas for creators to explore without having to navigate storytelling touchstones from other media. Does that mean they were exploring a sector of the past within the EU that hasn't been super well covered? It's possible, since there are many gaps of hundreds or even thousands of years that have yet to be explored. Or is he referring to the past in the Disney Canon timeline, which as far as I know hasn't been explored at all? That might better fit Riley's description as an open canvas, with literally infinite stories to tell. There's also the fact that Disney Canon constantly rips off better ideas from the EU all the time. They're not above even stealing titles from popular EU works, like Tales of the Jedi, so them capitalizing off a popular game like KOTOR would be the least surprising thing. Furthermore, they have also taken the name of whole eras from the EU, like Dawn of the Jedi, New Jedi Order, and yes, even the Old Republic. I had previously wondered that, since the High Republic era, which supposedly takes place 200 years before the movies in Disney Canon, and at the time, the galaxy was only first starting to learn about hyperspace travel, that they couldn't possibly integrate games like the KOTOR remake, or possibly Fate of the Old Republic, without changing their whole story. But if the Lucasfilm Story Group doesn't care about canonicity or continuity, then they can do whatever they want to in Disney Canon. But my biggest piece of evidence that FOTOR is not part of the EU is simply this. Why would, after 11 years of giving us practically nothing, would EU fans just be gifted the ultimate prize of a brand new KOTOR game set in the original continuity? It makes me feel like a homeless orphan who, for no reason one day in particular, has $1 million in cash dangled in front of him. This can't possibly be real, or this can't possibly be meant for me. It's unfortunate that psychologically I, or many other unexcited EU fans, can't view this new announcement as a good thing. But over several years, I think we've just been conditioned to feel that way. And this is coming from the guy who does monthly updates, showcasing new releases from the EU, or George Lucas era Star Wars. I like to think of myself as a positive guy. And I would love to be wrong. I would love for this video to age badly. But unless I get a clear-cut answer on which timeline this game is a part of, I'm not going to exactly be popping champagne bottles.
Please, Daddy.
I told you, when I'm finished, you can have what's left.
There won't be any left. There's never any left.